may be sitting on a small fortune inside your home, and a big piece of that profit could land in your pocket completely tax-free. Most homeowners have no idea how much they actually get to keep. I am Ron Siegel, certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Here's something that surprises people. When you sell your primary home, the IRS lets you keep a large chunk of the profit without paying federal income tax on it. If you're single, up to $250,000 of your gain can be excluded. If you're married and file a joint return, that number doubles to $500,000. A married couple can walk away with up to $500,000 in profit and owe zero federal income tax on it. Up to $500,000 and zero federal income tax. Yes, I said it. So what is the catch? There's a rule and it's simple. You have to have owned the home and lived in it for at least 2 of the last 5 years before the sale. They do not have to be back-to-back years. They just have to add up to 2 years inside that 5-year window. One more rule. You cannot have already used the exclusion on another home sale within the 2 years before the sale. So you don't get to stack it back-to-back on multiple homes. Here's the part most people miss. If your profit falls under the limit, you may not even have to report the sale on your tax return at all, unless you receive a Form 1099-S or you do not meet the requirements. Now, what if you sold at a loss? I wish I had better news. A loss on the sale of your personal home is not deductible. Just how the rule works. Let me make this real. Picture a married couple here in Southern California. They bought their home years ago, and the market did what our markets tend to do. Today, they have around $500,000 in equity built up. Nationally, a number like that might be closer to $250,000, but California equity often runs about double the national figure. So this is very real for a lot of families here. If they meet the 2 out of 5 year rule, that entire $500,000 gain could be excluded from federal income tax. That is not a loophole. That is the rule working exactly as written. So what does this mean for you? It means the decision to sell is not just about the sale price. It's about timing and it's about strategy. Selling a few months too early or using your exclusion on the wrong first home can cost you real money. This is why I always say strategy beats rate always. The same thing applies when you sell. The strategy around the sale can be worth more than the price you negotiate. There are also exceptions for people who do not pass the standard test. You may still qualify for some exclusion if you receive the home in a divorce settlement. A surviving spouse who has not remarried can count the time the deceased spouse lived in the home. Short-term absences can still count as time lived in the house. And for our military families, the 5-year test can be paused for up to 10 years while the spouse serves on qualified official expended duty in the military, the Foreign Service, or a federal intelligence agency. Even if you do not pass the full test, you might still get a reduced exclusion if you had to move because of a job change, a health issue, or an unforeseen event like a divorce. The rules have more flexibility than most people realize. Now, I want to be clear about something. I am not a tax advisor, and nothing I just said is tax advice. Your situation is your own, and the details matter. Before you sell, talks with a qualified tax professional who can look at your specific numbers. Here's where I come in. My job is the money side of this. Before you list, you should know your real equity, your blended household interest rate, and what your next move looks like. On one way I make that easy is rsrlinks.com/myhome, rsrlinks.com/myhome. Go there and I'll send you a report on what your home is worth, updated every month. That's rsrlinks.com/myhome. When you always know your home's current value, you're never guessing about your equity. What are you buying again? Are you keeping the home and pulling equity out instead? Are you helping a family member buy? The smartest sellers run the numbers before they make the move, not after. If you want a simple place to start, go to rsrlinks.com/keysteps. That's rsrlinks.com/keysteps. It'll help you get your budget and your numbers organized so you can plan your sell with clear eyes instead of guessing. When you know your numbers, you make better moves. The bottom line is this. Up to $500,000 of your home's profit could be yours to keep tax-free if you play it right. That's worth understanding before you ever put up a sign. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by rsrwealthbuilder.com, rsrwealthbuilder.com.